and let us all do we can to build a better future. Time to start on with our next segment, the Jimmy Dore referendum. Now, this has been gaining a lot of traction. On Sunday, I did a short live stream where Jimmy Dore was basically calling out the hypocrisy of the Young Turks, most notably going up against Anna Kasparian. We'll be pulling that tweet up later.
It's so crazy that one of the early videos we've done on the channel was on this exact topic, and we're doing it all over again.
Yeah. Well, we need Medicare for all. We need relief now at the height of pandemic. And so what's the idea for the Jimmy Dore referendum? We're going to first, I want to give two shout outs to two people who actually gave me videos that are linked. First off, Matt Orfla, he sent me this video. And Matt, if you do see this, really great job with Jimmy Dore and calling for Medicare for all. And then also Case Study QB sent me another video about putting pressure on the inside from the outside. But I'll focus on that. But real quick, again, Jimmy Dore is calling on the progressive leaders in Congress to withhold their vote unless Nancy Pelosi puts a vote for Medicare for all on the floor. I forgot to mention that in the first live stream, but this is like, withhold your vote. Don't vote for Nancy unless she's going to put Medicare for all on the U.S. floor. And look, you were elected for a reason. Now's the time to really use your power. With that being said, let's play this first video from Matt Orfla. Again, great job, great editing. Let's go ahead and play it. It'll go into more detail about what we need to do to get Medicare for all passed in the United States. Or try.
Even get a floor vote on Medicare for all.
That's garbage. You can do it right now. We need 15 Democrats.
Hi, Jimmy.
We need the elected officials that you helped get elected to tell Nancy Pelosi that you will not vote for her as Speaker unless Medicare for all is put on the House floor for a vote.
I think it's a really smart idea.
The worst abuse of power, Crystal, is not using the power you have to fight for people.
Will they? Time to let AOC know they have no other option because we're watching and we see through their bullshit excuses.
We have to put public pressure on them.
I want to see who's going to vote against healthcare in the middle of a pandemic. If you're not going to do it now, you are never going to do it, you phony.
All the people who filled up your voicemail, they're going to remember whether you did the right thing here.
Which side are they really on? This is where you force progressive House members to reveal who they answer to. Do they answer to their constituents or do they answer to the party bosses? Listen to AOC's own words.
The Democratic Party does not do more unless it is pushed.
And so this moment is the great unmasking.
Force it to happen.
Ask them, are you fighters or are you careerists? Are you activists for the people or are you posers on Twitter?
Everyone's going to try to tell you that if you're just a little bit nicer, then it'll be fine. No.
The whole point of protesting is to make people uncomfortable. You got to make them uncomfortable. She's pretending to be part of a movement when she's really running cover for Nancy Pelosi. Did you think anybody voted for you so you could vote Nancy Pelosi without getting them anything? This is Medicare for all. People's actual lives depend on us doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
Now it's your chance to actually use your leverage. Will you?
Take risks.
Or will you be a party fucking climber?
Start bringing the ruckus on the Democratic Party. Force it to happen. Do not trust any political party to automatically work in your interest.
I call on everybody in independent media.
Julie Garcia, Marie Newman, they're both from Illinois.
Force the Congress to show which side are they really on. No vote for Nancy Pelosi unless Medicare for all is put on the House floor for a vote.
So we need to push them.
I'm going to call my congressional representative.
I'll call mine.
And they're both from Illinois. We are going to participate, and I believe in Jimmy Dore's message. Heartlands Media stands with Jimmy Dore, and we are done being polite. We're done being nice. We're done saying, please, please, please. No. I've seen enough begging. Driving to the studio is a high point of my day because it took a lot of work to get here. What brings me down is seeing the ever-growing businesses being shut down. More people out on the streets. It's becoming a very real reality that no one can hide from, and this is a nationwide problem. To the progressive leaders in Congress, Chuy Garcia, Marie Newman, AOC, Ilhan Omar, all of you, please withhold your vote. Let's play this next video from Case Study QB. It's about putting pressure on the outside, pressure on the inside. Again, it's on corporate media, but I think it's worthwhile to listen, and we could take it apart a little bit later.
When I talk about inside, and outside. This is what I mean by that. 1959, Roy Wilkins, head of the NAACP, calls Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. a radical. 1960, Malcolm X rises to prominence with the Nation of Islam. The former radical becomes a moderate. When King goes to the White House to meet with LBJ, SNCC doesn't go because SNCC wasn't invited. But if you look at between 1960 and 1968, most of the most aggressive public demonstrations of civil disobedience were led by SNCC and CORE. Now, SCLC was there, NAACP was there, but they were told, do not do the freedom rides. SNCC said, hell no, we doing the freedom rides. CORE, we're doing the freedom rides. In the 21st century, there are going to be black groups who go to the White House to meet with the president. That's fine. There are going to be black groups who don't get invited to the White House to meet the president, which is good because those groups are going to be able to exert the kind of external pressure that's on the administration to get things done. So those who are on the inside will say, now, you know, we need to negotiate this thing because they ain't stopping. Y'all, Obama was president. I was there in front of the White House, which is 3 blocks from here, when I forgot his name, but he was the Asian guy who was in the military who got kicked out because of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. I left a meeting from inside the White House and stood there as he handcuffed himself to the fence. And that was a rally of other LGBT folk in D.C. But another group was in front of the White House, chained themselves to the fence, and they got arrested. But there was another group that was meeting in the White House. The folk who were meeting in the White House were applauding what the folk on the outside were doing because that outside pressure gave them more leverage on the inside. You got to have the outside leverage to push them to do what's right. Or as FDR told A. Philip Randolph, Philip, make me do it.
Okay, one thing to take away from that video, there's a lot to be said about those who are invited in to circles of power, whether it's meeting with a congressional representative, senator, or president. Yeah, or becoming one. The people, all of you watching, have more power than you realize. And we have to, even for the people who do get the chance to meet, and even for the people that we respect and follow who do meet with those who have higher power, we have to show that our power is greater. Now's the time to start planning and organizing. Now's the time to really start reminding these politicians that they're public servants. And we cannot let up off that pressure. Now, Jimmy Dore is doing something that's right now I think is a bold gambit move, and we got to be bold. And we have to ask our progressive leaders, look, you may not like them. I'm not going to cancel AOC or Ilhan Omar or anyone else because right now this is the best we got. It truly is. And I despise the Democratic Party for what it is. But if this gamble does work, if Jimmy is right on this, it will be the beginning of something. And we have to try. One last try. Because otherwise, if they don't, well then, Jimmy was right about all these Democrats that call themselves progressives in Congress.
Yeah, and I would just want to throw in there, this is why, you know, when people say, no, we should only go on the outside, or no, we should only try and reform the Democratic Party inside, we need people inside the gates and outside the gates at all times. And I think that we're just saying that maybe we need to get more people outside. But hey, if we can take over a Democratic seat, we should also do that as well and keep pushing from both directions. Now, obviously, it hasn't worked out so far. But again, I would rather have an AOC in office than a Nancy Pelosi. I think that's still going to be more manageable. But it really does come down to us, and it comes down to keys. If you don't, go watch Rules for Rulers if you haven't already, because what we really need is power over them. We need to have more power than they do. We need to have more power locally, statewide, and going out. But so either Jimmy's plan is going to work or it isn't. But standing outside, looking at this and going, "Oh, it's an interesting story," and not doing anything about it, it's the same as not participating. It's the same as siding with the establishment. Because in the event of a power debate, let's say, if you don't do anything, you're automatically siding with power because they have to just de facto not lose, where everyone has to actually win. So if you have a rep that's on that original list, call them. It doesn't, oh my God, it takes like 10 seconds to do. It's not a small. It's a pretty small sacrifice, I should say.
Me and Daniel are both from Illinois. We're both proud Chicagoans. Daniel's congressional representative Chuy Garcia, who we've interviewed on our show way back when. And Marie Newman, who I interviewed way back in 2019, early 2019, is my congressional representative. I'm going to make the call. And I'm going to do the right thing because Jimmy Dore is right. But I also want to give a shout out to Gray Walker, joined third party. Look, now's also the time to start building third parties. Yeah. Movement for People's Party, batters up. Green Party and Libertarians, I haven't given up on you either. But see, here's the thing. Universally, Medicare for All is popular because what people don't talk about is how socialists, Democrats, liberals, conservatives, and libertarians all are agreeing on Medicare for all. Controversial statement. Americans can actually agree on something. The rest of the world has figured it out. But also what's angering me is the attacks that Jimmy Dore is getting. Let's pull up this one tweet from Anna Kasparian. I talked about this on yesterday's live stream. It's one thing to debate the strategies lawmakers like AOC should take. My issue with Dore is that I don't believe he says anything in good faith. It's incredible to witness his rage-filled demands of some lawmakers while he refused to hold Tulsi accountable for a damn thing. All right, everyone, disregard Tulsi Gabbard. She's leaving Congress. She's going bye-bye. Any of her bills, whether it's that Title IX or, oh, wait, how about her OFF Act? Oh, wait, how about UBI or anything else like Medicare for All? Oh, I guess we're going to ignore that. Tulsi Gabbard is leaving Congress, Anna. Whatever you and Emma don't like about Tulsi, guess what? It's done and over. And you know what? You didn't break her. She's still around. She's probably going to be a lot more stronger, and she might one day enter the realm of politics, but you're focusing, saying that Jimmy Dore, your old co-host, I remember the old days of TYT, the high point of TYT, when all of you,
I watched it.
I guess when you guys were friends, you really think he's speaking out of bad faith?
That's not Jimmy Dore.
Jimmy Dore was correct on Russiagate. Jimmy Dore, the correct on the hypocrisy that is Russiagate. Yeah. Jimmy Dore was correct on the waste of time that was impeachment. Jimmy Dore was correct on how corrupt and inept some of the Democrats are. Jimmy Dore was correct in calling out the fact that this election was going to probably end up the same thing as 2016. Yeah. I didn't want him to be right about that, but guess what? He's right. I think he's speaking in bad faith. First of all, he's a Chicagoan, so we're going to go to bat for a Chicagoan, but he's speaking truth to power, which is why I'm really going to bat for him, because maybe he's tired of seeing people go broke because they can't pay their medical bills. Maybe he's tired of people being screwed over by a government that doesn't even represent them anymore. He was your friend, Anna, and you're just going to say he's speaking out of bad faith? Really? Just like causing that question where Tulsi Gabbard just walked into TYT studios and was like, you're going to do this and you're going to do that. I made a video on that then. I don't buy it, and I don't buy it now.
Yeah, so can we just pull back up that tweet text? I want to point something out on this. Okay, can anyone point to me a journalistic fact in this tweet? Everything that she has, ironically, everything that's for Jimmy before the buts come in are all factual statements. Every single thing that she's upset about Jimmy with are all opinions held by one Anna Kasparian. No one else, well, maybe Emma Biglin as well, but this is their opinion. This is Anna's opinion. And the Tulsi thing, this is Anna being like a mean girl type person and not able to let go. Because I said earlier in the segment that, hey, this reminds me of where we were before. Anna just hates Tulsi Gabbard. Anna despises Tulsi Gabbard. Does she have factual reasons that she has? No, she'll just make them up. Or she'll bring up something that's like, hey, look, we have this giant mountain, but I'm going to ignore that because there's a small molehill over here. Hey, Tulsi's bad faith on this. Here's the reality. If we go back to that tweet one more time, that's the bad faith argument right there. That's the argument that goes against who Jimmy Dore is, your working relationship that you used to have with him, and anything else. This is Anna and her mean girl opinions that she can't get over, move on from, and sadly, that's all there is to it.
Well, I also want to give a shout out to Monarch, too, on the live stream. I could see Cenk and Jimmy more or less close with each other. Anna and Emma, not so. The majority report vid of Jimmy Dore referendum was disgusting. I believe so, too. But, let's actually pull this up because Jimmy Dore was not going to take that line down.
Don't fight with comedians over arguments.
Yeah,
it just
seriously,
doesn't
hold
work.
on, because Jimmy Dore came at them with a 1-2 punch. I talked about this on yesterday's live stream that I did on Sunday morning. I've never had an original idea in my life. Peddled McCarthyism and censorship for 4 years while taking 20 million Katzenberg cash. Yes, this is a great idea, but Jimmy Dore is still a meanie. I work for a guy whose biopic is named Mad as Hell, but Jimmy's rage is off-putting.
Yeah. It seems to be that it's the person and you already have a preconceived notion of them, just like with Tulsi. It seems like whenever Anna doesn't like someone, all of a sudden, all the news that she covers about them is just negative.
All right, so let's also real quick pull up the final tweets.
And by the way, this is really quick. It's so ironic because it also worked out this way the last time we covered it, where Anna says something crazy and attacks someone, and then Cenk's like, hold on.
Well, actually, here's the thing. That tweet that I pulled up, because first I want you to pull this tweet up right here with Cenk. Jimmy is making a constructive effort to actually vote for Medicare for all and to unite progressives despite our differences. I love that. Even if you don't think this is perfect way to do it, you have to agree. We all have to push progressive legislators to get this introduced. Can we get the date on that when it was the date of this tweet? Can we scroll down? What does it say? December 7th? All right. Go to Anna Kasparian's tweet real quick. Not the Jimmy Dore one. Let's scroll down to that one. December 11th or 13th. December 13th. So did Anna not get the memo, or Anna? Like, I mean, Cenk agrees with Jimmy. It's a solid plan.
And by the way, I also want to point out there, Cenk also agreed with Tulsi.
Oh,
that's the entire point I was bringing up. That back when, about a year ago, when we did a similar video with Nico House, Anna, and Tulsi, it was the exact, all the pieces were the same, just like a few different subject matters were pulled in and out. It was Anna saying Tulsi Gabbard's a terrible person who took over our studio and forced Cenk to do an interview, and then said he could, and then she determined the questions she would ask, and Cenk was just like, yes, ma'am, I'm going to simp for you, ma'am. And then did a second interview after. Meanwhile, Anna in the first interview is standing behind the scenes, glaring at both of them, making them both uncomfortable, making the interview more difficult. It really seems like the problem is you, Anna. It's that you are what you fight.
Yep. Also, real quick, too, Jimmy Dore is offering something important, and that is a fight to get Medicare for all. Let's call out these progressive congressmen and women to do the right thing. That's why they were elected. I know it might make a lot of people uncomfortable maybe going after somebody you respect, but remember, these politicians don't hero worship any one of them, from Bernie Sanders to AOC to even Tulsi Gabbard. Because guess what? There's a lot of things we disagree with Tulsi Gabbard with. But the whole idea, especially if you're in progressive independent media, from the likes of Mika Sukasa, Convo Couch, Hardlands Media, Jimmy Dore, or TYT Major, I think we all can agree that we want Medicare for all. We want it. But we got to fight for it. But we can't be nice to these politicians. We got to push them. We have to push them, because Biden will not move unless we actually have real power on the outside, also in the inside too. And that means getting progressive congressmen and women off their butts and to withhold their vote for Nancy Pelosi. Jimmy Dore is correct, and we got to do this now.
And by the way, I just want to point out there, we actually have a lot of credibility on specifically the personalities on these guys. We've met all three of the people we've been talking about. We've met Jimmy a number of times. We've had some interactions with him on the show. That's exactly the same. Early on, we had a lot of interactions with TYT. We've met Cenk. We've met Anna. Met Jimmy in person a couple of times. We know who they are. This is exactly, sadly, what we come to expect.
Yeah. So, if you want to fight for a better future, you got to make these people uncomfortable. And it's up to independent media to continue that fire, including larger media networks that have a big platform. We got to do this. And to say that Jimmy Dore is acting out of bad faith is ignorant.
Saying Jimmy Dore is acting on bad faith is itself bad faith.
Yep. And also to say that he's a grifter, no, I don't believe that crap either. Because you know something? Maybe he's tired of seeing people get hurt, just like I am. I'm pretty sure all of us are tired of seeing people get hurt. You want to know what we have to do? We have to get off our butts and hold these progressive politicians accountable and tell them, withhold your damn vote for Nancy, the ice cream lady, okay? Let's just do that. Let's fight for a better future.